while shooting a VFX-heavy Hollywood production, for example. So our data rates are much lower. So let's go get some 7:1 footage. So let's start with a sample from Red here. This is a 7:1 compression ratio, 8K clip that was recorded at 24 frames per second. So let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up, hit that playback button, and ouch. We are looking at spikes of up to 95% on our GPU and CPU usage that is pinned at 100% while trying to play back that clip. That is a stark contrast to the, I think we used 20:1, is that right, David? Yeah. To the 20:1 footage that we capture. And that's not even the worst of it. Here's some 8K 7:1 footage at 30 FPS that we captured. Let's go ahead and drag that onto the timeline. Yeah, woof. not quite. Yeah, he moves like that, sure, why not? So what's weird though is that even with the heaviest footage that we could throw at our workstation, our GPU is actually neither sitting idle nor completely maxed out. So it's being used to handle the debayering process, which reconstructs the full color image that we see here from the samples that are collected by the image sensor. But our CPU is still in charge of the entropy decoding, which is a process that allows the most common input signals to be substituted for much shorter ones, saving space, and wavelet decoding, which frankly, I'm not familiar enough with to offer even a basic explanation, and the Wikipedia article wasn't much help. Anyway though, so maybe our problem here is we just need more CPU horsepower to keep our GPU fed. AMD to the rescue then? Why don't we try going from 18 to 32 processor cores?
Building in progress.
Oh, shoot.
Mission failed.
Okay, it worked. Didn't do anything. And interestingly, our GPU usage is higher, near 100%. So this is kind of fascinating. I've said it many times before that every system is effectively bottlenecked because there's something that is slowing down the process, or else it would be infinitely fast. But this is like double bottlenecked. It's like they're perfectly matched to each other, but still not enough for the task. This is great too. Look what happens to timeline scrolling when my CPU's at 100% usage. So while I was troubleshooting to prepare for this video, I actually spent some of my time with the RTX 2080 rather than the RTX 2080 Ti, because what I thought was that this functionality had something to do with their new NVENC engine, but actually it doesn't. In fact, there's nothing about the tensor cores or the ray tracing cores or anything like that that makes the RTX card so good at this. It's just the sheer friggin' processing power of all those CUDA cores. So we are gonna jump for 8K 7:1 footage straight to the RTX 2080 Ti. And you might think to yourself, well, gee Linus, that's a $1,200 to $1,300 US graphics card. Of course it can handle it, but that's not necessarily to be taken for granted. I mean, we installed CPUs that cost up to $2,000 and they couldn't do it. It's all about having the right tool for the job. Okay, everything's working normally. Here we go. This is the moment. I mean, now that it's kind of gotten its act together, that's a lot better. We're now at 100% CPU, 95% GPU, but we are still dropping frames. So that's it then. No CPU on Earth can handle this 30 frame per second, 8K 7:1 red code raw footage. At least, not as long as it has to handle the entropy decoding and wavelet decoding. What if we could offload those to the GPU? We are going to need a beta version of Red's decoder that unfortunately isn't supported by Adobe Premiere at this time. Fortunately, it's built into the beta of Red Cine X Pro, and we're gonna start with the 24 FPS footage. Now, it's a little flaky right now. I'm actually not sure if this is going to work, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. So we're gonna enable GPU decode, and it's flaking out on me. So it's running at like 8 frames per second. Fortunately, the fix right now seems to be to just toggle between image pipelines. And there it is, smooth 8K playback. That hitch, by the way, is the clip restarting, but that's not even the most impressive part. So our CPU is sitting at just 10% utilization, and our GPU is up at 77, 80% utilization. So we potentially have some headroom to spare. So our overall usage for the system is way down, like 10% of our 32 cores. We could be doing this on a more human workstation, you know, one with 6 or 8 cores, by offloading this work to the GPU. Because the thing to remember as well is that when we were pinning both our CPU and GPU at 100%, that was just playback. We weren't even applying any real-time effects like denoising the footage or anything like that. We were at the limit. Now we have headroom to play with. Let's go ahead and try our 30 FPS footage though. That's actually working a little bit better than I expected. When the first time around, I actually had to overclock the GPU a little bit to get this quite so smooth, but you know what? I'm taking it. So there it is. Our GPU CUDA usage jumps up near 90%, but our CPU stays at 10%, and we are smoothly playing back 7:1, 8K Red footage at 29.97 frames per second. Really? No? Can we get some applause, sound effects in the video or something? I don't know. This is crazy. So all that's left now then is to thank LG for sponsoring this video featuring their 49WL95CW ultra-wide monitor. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious why they wanted us to feature this in this video, because it's designed for content creators like photographers, filmmakers, music producers, and more who can really benefit from this kind of a canvas, being able to work on more than one thing simultaneously, or just be able to manage and see extremely long timelines without zooming out, giving them a finer degree of control. And it's not even just for creators, but office work would also be a great option. Someone like a programmer, a stock trader, or really anyone who needs a ton of side-by-side screen real estate, because it's basically exactly the same as having two 2560 by 1440 monitors side by side, except that you have no bezel in between. LG's also been hard at work on software that allows you to take two inputs, so like your desktop and your laptop, and seamlessly share your mouse and keyboard between them, just like moving between them so you can control two systems at once. It's got full support for USB Type-C, including power delivery, so you can use it as a single cable docking solution for your laptop, and it's got support for HDR10 with two 10-watt speakers built in. In fact, I didn't realize they were gonna be that loud. That happened a couple times during the video. So check it out at the link in the video description, and I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, you guys. If you disliked this video, well, you can hit that button, but if you liked it, hit like, get subscribed, or maybe consider checking out where to buy the stuff we featured at the link below. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join. Dark mode has swept over the internet like a dark gray tidal wave, with hints of dark blue. Nowadays, whether you're on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, or basically anything else, even our forum, there's probably some sort of option to change the color scheme to match the black void in your soul. But is it really possible to dark mode every aspect of your digital life? And why would you want to? We're gonna let you know right after I tell you about Memory Express. Memory Express's Victoria, BC location is now open and offers the same product selection and quality of service as their other stores. Check out the link below to learn more. A huge reason that people use dark mode is because they say that reading white text on a dark background is easier on the eyes, and this is especially true at night when the ambient light is low. But that subjective analysis actually goes against a lot of the conventional wisdom. For years, monitor manufacturers have boasted of brighter and brighter displays. And according to both traditional UI design guidelines and studies that rate the readability of various combinations of text and background colors, dark text on a white background is still the #1 most readable configuration. And indeed, as humans spend more and more of their time staring at screens, it has become apparent that the conventional wisdom isn't always the best thing for our eyes. Scientists are now studying new conditions like digital eye strain and computer vision syndrome, finding that large amounts of time spent looking at screens can contribute to sleeplessness, headaches, dry eyes, and blurred vision. And other studies have found that reading black text on a white background can even contribute to increased myopia, aka nearsightedness. So then, on to ways to lessen the strain on your eyes. Now, one way is called night mode, and this is usually a setting on your monitor or on your device that attempts to filter out or reduce the blue light that your screen is emitting, making it less likely to disrupt your circadian rhythm, causing you to unintentionally spend the whole night going down a Wikipedia black hole. But night mode is different from dark mode. Dark mode is not a filter so much as it's a color scheme or a theme that can be applied either to a specific application or in some cases even system-wide. So what this means is that while it can improve comfort, it doesn't necessarily have the sleep benefits of night mode. And in brightly lit environments, it can actually strain your eyes in exactly the same way that a bright screen can in a dark room. Also, with dark mode, the implementation depends heavily on the developer, and not all dark modes are made equal. Okay then, so you're ready to take the plunge and dark mode your life. Let's start with Windows 10. Windows has actually had theme support for a very long time. Does anyone else remember window blinds? No? Oh, bummer. Anyway, now there's a handy option right in the color settings to switch to the dark default app mode. This will make built-in Windows apps like Settings, Calculator, and Alarms almost fully black. Now it might also automatically apply to Photos, Movies, and Groove Music, but if it doesn't, you can go into those app settings and switch it on manually. File Explorer still doesn't have dark mode support, so you can expect sudden retina-searing light if you dare to browse C, but that is supposed to be coming in the October update, so Microsoft does still have some work to do. But if you don't like the built-in dark mode, they also have the option for you to customize Windows' high contrast settings to basically create your own. But even what I said just now, assuming it all goes perfectly, is only the built-in Microsoft apps. I mean, who spends their whole day using those? What about the one app that people probably use the most, their web browser? Well, Edge and Firefox both have built-in dark themes. And while there is no official dark mode for Chrome, the browser's theme and extension support mean that you can essentially kind of tack one on. So there's a category page for dark themes in the Chrome Web Store, and popular ones include Material Incognito Dark and Morpheon Dark, with the former being our pick. But a theme just changes the toolbar. Websites are still going to present themselves normally, so some more tweaking is required. Now, a lot of websites have built-in dark modes, including Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, the Linus Tech Tips forum, and Gmail's inbox, actually. Although, curiously for that last one, daring to actually open an email will still blind you. As for the rest of the web, you can install the Dark Reader extension, which is also available for Firefox and Safari on macOS. It analyzes colors and tries to make web pages look like an official dark mode, with some settings available for customization as well. It solves Gmail's dark mode problem, but it can also cause some glitchiness and delayed loading at times. Thankfully, you can actually teach it to enable or disable itself automatically site by site. Now on to another popular app, Microsoft Office. There is an official dark mode or dark theme found in the settings, but it sucks. It doesn't affect the actual page color. You will have to go to Design, then Page Color for